Well, hello, everybody. This is Karen Gagliano from Prime Lending, and this is my very first podcast of The Finance Garden. I am so excited to debut it today. Every once in a while, we are going to be doing small segments with real estate agents and industry professionals. We're calling it Market Matters Live because we are going to be talking about the market that we are in live today. It is February, spring is around the corner, and today we are with Amanda Golini from Berkshire Hathaway. We are in Ithaca. I want to give you a nice warm welcome and introduce yourself to our audience.
Of course, thank you. First of all, it's been really great to get to know you. And thank you so much for asking me to be on this episode. I'm really honored to do it.
I'm so excited to have you.
To do it. So my name is Amanda Golini. I am with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Heritage Realty out of the Ithaca office. So we're located right in downtown Ithaca in a beautiful historic building on Buffalo Street. And I service clients within the Finger Lakes region.
Yes, we are on Buffalo Street in Ithaca. We are not in Buffalo.
Not in Buffalo.
So Amanda, I wanted to talk to you today about the market and the Ithaca market especially. We're focusing in the Finger Lakes here. In the Finger Lakes, we have all different markets. We have small pockets, outskirts. We have city living, and I wanted to talk about the market today in Tompkins County. Tompkins County is the county where Ithaca is, correct?
Yes.
So, what can you tell us about the trends as of late coming out of the 2023 year and into 24?
Right. So that's always a big question, right? Is the market, what's happening with the market? It's fluid, so it's changing often. But within Tompkins County, I would say that there's sort of micro markets. Mm-hmm. So what's happening right in downtown Ithaca is not the same thing that's happening in Newfield or Freeville or Dryden or so forth. So when you're working with a real estate agent, it's really important that they can delve deep into that market, what's happening, how quickly houses are selling, what the prices are going for, and so forth. Yeah. So we're going into the spring market. Things are starting to warm up. We're getting more houses that are coming on the market. We're finding a couple of things. Well, I'm finding a couple of things. One, houses that are perfect. Mm-hmm. They're in turnkey. They're ready to go in the right location. They don't need any renovations. Mm-hmm. They're selling really quick. Yeah. They're going for a little bit over market price, and we're getting back into the multiple offer situations, right?
Because there are buyers and borrowers who are just ready to go and not as many houses. So what kind of a market would we call that? Seller's market?
I would say a seller's market, yes.
Yeah. Where the sellers make out and the buyers are just kind of waiting in line for houses.
And the sellers, if you have the right team working behind you, can help you get what you want for a fair market price. So don't be concerned about that.
Yeah. Yep.
You might have to be a little bit creative about how you go about doing it. Yeah. So houses in the downtown area of Ithaca or the Ithaca township are selling pretty quick. Mm-hmm. So like within a couple of days. That is if they're turnkey.
Yep.
When you're looking at some of the outlying places, they're still selling quick, but maybe a few more days they're staying on the market. Then we also have, on the flip side, we have a handful of houses that are coming on the market that are not perfect, right? So they're in your location that you want. It's in the school system. Say, I want to go to this school, but it's not your perfect house, right?
It might need a turnkey.
Right. It might need work, or you don't really like the kitchen. Mm-hmm. So those houses right now are they're staying on the market a little bit longer. So that's an opportunity for a buyer who can be creative thinking about how they can make that house their own. Yeah. And I know you had mentioned to me at one point that there's some kind of a loan that you can offer to clients that would help them in that situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that you would have more opportunity to snatch one of those up
and make it your own.
Right. If it's everything that you need, but you just don't like the kitchen, or you don't like the front porch, or you want to make some changes to it. Mm-hmm. But then people think, I don't want to have to get a mortgage and then get a loan.
Right. Oh, right. Or they want to get a mortgage and they need all of this cash to fix things up. Well, that's where the renovation loan comes in. That's exactly what you were asking me. I just was taking a long time getting it out. So it's called a renovation loan. Prime Lending has We have 18 different renovation loans. And without getting
wow.
to salesy, there's like one for every type of mortgage loan. There's a renovation loan for veterans, for FHA borrowers, for conventional borrowers, and for USDA borrowers. Basically, all what a renovation loan means is when you see a house on the market where the listing agent says cash or rehab loan only, that basically means that they're being sold as is, like the
Right.
seller doesn't want to do any work, right?
Right.
Or if it's not, maybe it's mortgageable, but you just are like, oh God, this needs so much work. And
Right.
I love it because it's, like you said, it's in my school district and it's really close to my work or things like that. So how it works is you buy that home based on its value as it stands. The seller gets what he gets based on how much it's worth. And if there is room to add value to it by adding renovations, like you were saying, redoing the kitchen, the bathroom's outdated, there's rug that's from like the 80s and you want to rip it up and see what's underneath.
Yes.
We lend you that money. So for example, I like to use easy numbers because it's just easier to understand. Let's just say you have this house, it's on the market, you want to snatch it up and you get it for $150, but you're approved for $200, right?
Okay.
So now you have like this room. You can, maybe redo the kitchen or the bathroom or whatever it is that you want to do. And you have about $50,000 worth of bandwidth between 150 and 200. And we can take that bandwidth, that 50,000, and lend it to you as part of the one transaction.
So not two.
You don't have to go out and get like a home equity line of credit or anything, which isn't tax deductible. So you can actually put all this into one mortgage, have one mortgage payment. The seller gets what he gets, like the 150. Let's just say after the loan closes, a contractor will do the work. And we follow along. We have a renovation department. We don't just give it to, 50 grand out like that. We follow up with the contractor and we give draws just to make sure that things are getting done according to what was proposed, because we're going to get like a detailed quote that says this is what we're going to do, and we follow up with that. So it's a nicer way to get a home in a market where houses are being so snatched up that you just feel like, now what? You can't compete with that. Well, let's use our imagination and try to. I always say, don't love HGTV. I mean, I love the Property Brothers. You can't do the work. You can't be knocking down, doing the renovations yourself.
Right. So one question I had about that is, if, say I have a client who wants to take advantage of that loan, can they choose their contractor?
Yes, they can. The contractor just can't be, your brother who does it on the side.
Okay.
They have to have a business. They have to show us that they are in business. We do a little bit of a background check and we check them out online, and they have to have insurance just in case something happens.
That's beneficial to the client as well as, you want to make sure that they're on the that they're legit.
Exactly. Yeah. And then we also want to make sure that they're not going to drag their feet. I don't know how many people out there have contractors that just don't show up, or, they're just lazy bums.
Yeah, it can happen.
But we don't allow that.
That's good.
Yeah. So you can choose your own. We do also have a list of approved contractors. So if you don't know any, I'm sure as a real estate agent, you have a preferred contractors.
We have a list of people that we trust, that we've used in the past, that we can recommend.
Yeah.
But some people have their own guy.
Yeah.
I've got a guy that does the thing.
Yep.
And if you're a guy who can do it, then that's great.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we just make sure that they're legitimate. And like I said, the money will get sent to them via wire in prorated amounts as the work is completed.
Perfect. So aside from the renovation loan, so if I have a client who doesn't want to do renovations, they want a turnkey house that's perfect in the right location, we're going to possibly get into multiple offer situations, maybe not. What can we do collectively as a team to help them to get a leg up, like to get their offer accepted over, or even the cash buyer?
Well, yeah.
Somebody.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I know, right? Because there's one house, and lately it seems like there's a lot of buyers that want it. We've got your cash offers, and then you've got all these different other offers that are like mortgage pre-qualifications with all these different loans, FHA, USDA, conventional, blah, blah, blah. Well, all I have to say about that is the best thing to do is to get pre-approved. The difference between pre-qualification and pre-approved is that A pre-approval is from an underwriter. It's an extra step that we take where we can commit to giving you the loan. There's the mortgage commitment. Well, that is basically what we're doing. We're getting the mortgage commitment before the house. It's okay. All we're doing is assessing your income. We're verifying income, verifying credit, verifying assets, and just literally punching all of those, checking all those boxes off of the list that you've already gone through the process. It holds just as much weight in my mind as a cash offer, because we could close. All you need to do is find a house and get an appraisal.
So that's great. So instead of being pre-qualified, you're pre-approved, which means you're ready to go.
Yep. And it only takes a day. I gotta get your documents, so make sure that you have them. But when I submit it to underwriting, the underwriter picks it up that same day, can sometimes get it out that same day or the next day. It's a 24-hour turnaround. We guarantee that. So just so that you know, it's not, we're not going to pull teeth. I'm going to make sure that I dot my I's and cross my T's. The underwriter is going to double check all of that. And when you go there and the seller's looking at all these different offers that are on the table, yours is going to stand out because you've already gotten your mortgage, basically.
That's great.
It's just, you're buying a house, hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever it may be. It's a home, it's expensive, and we want to make sure that you could afford it. And I'm sure you don't want to just take people around when you don't even know what their price range is.
Yeah, no, we don't. It's really important. And we're actually finding, I personally don't like to show houses at all unless I have proof of funds or pre-approval. And I'm actually finding that listing agents are making that a requirement in the MLS. So we're not even able to book an appointment to see the house until we have proof of funds. And I think that's a great thing. It's good for everyone involved.
Yeah. Yep. And it's so rare that people come to the lender first. They always go to the real estate agent first. But having a good team that knows how to direct you kind of accordingly, and if you could trust us and the relationship that we put forth to you, because we were talking about how similar we are, and we really care about helping you make the right decision. It's not just a transaction.
Right.
It's very, very important that you're very well prepared so that you can strike. I always say, strike when the iron is hot.
Yeah. I think it's really important that you work with a real estate agent. So everyone wants to go out there and just look at Zillow, which is a great tool. It's fine.
Yeah.
Everyone uses it, can tell you where things are. The information's not always accurate. But when I was talking about those micro markets, Zillow's not going to be showing you the nuances between downtown Ithaca and Newfield, certain areas where you are, and we have our finger right on the pulse.
It's a computer.
It's true.
It's like artificial intelligence. It's not 100%. You actually need a personal touch, right?
Right. Well, yeah, of course. Yes. And we keep on top of things as they're happening. Things are selling and they're coming on the market, and we know that in real time. Where Zillow doesn't, everything sort of syndicates. So as a real estate agent, when we put a house on the market, we put it onto the MLS, and then these other places like Zillow and Redfin, they pull that data out of there and they pop it onto their website. Things might change, or the information might be completely inaccurate. So just keep that in mind.
Especially taxes. I always notice that. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, don't go by those taxes. Those aren't right. You always want to make sure that you go to the source, and Zillow is not the source, but it's a good guide. We're not knocking it.
Right. And we do the digging. I dig really deep into everything that's going on. There's zoning issues, if there's tax issues, if there's flood map issues, those kinds of things. Yeah. You're not going to find that on Zillow. So not to knock Zillow, but I think it's really important to work with a real estate agent.
Yep. Yeah. Well, thank you everybody so much for being a part of my very, very first podcast, The Finance Garden Season 1. We are going to be having more down the road, especially more Market Matters live as we get into the spring and summer market. It's going to be very important to educate and to talk about what's happening in the market that you're going to be moving to. So thank you so much, Amanda. We'll put your contact information after this so people know how to get in touch with you and get in touch with me. Thank you, everybody, and you all take care.
Bye.
Bye.